Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. All right, I'm going to jump into 18 scary retirement statistics with you. We'll spend a little more time on some than others, but I want you to get an idea of the kinds of things that you're going to be facing when it comes to retirement. And for some of you, maybe you're already facing these, and then we'll share, as I go, I'll share some strategies that I utilize to help protect my clients against these very things. Now, one of the tough ones, of course, when we've talked about when it comes to navigating the 5 critical retirement risks, one of them being longevity risk, and I've talked about this before. Let me quickly tap on this, all right? So number 1, longevity risk. 2, inflation risk. 3 is healthcare risk. 4, sequence of returns. And 5 has to do with the, market risk, yes. So when you look at these, longevity risk multiplies the others. When you look at inflation risk, for instance, inflation, the longer you live, the more impact inflation is going to have. When you look at market risk, the longer you live, the more that market risk is going to come into play in terms of your money lasting, in particular if you've invested well. Now, if you've invested well, and you're well diversified in your portfolio, and you follow some of the tips that I share with you here and the advice that I give you with regard to how the smart money invests and how to do so in a way that you don't have to worry about losing all your money, then yes, you're going to be able to ride these things out. The next part just becomes asset allocation. Inflation risk I've talked about before. This is one of those areas that we really got to pay attention to. And it's one of the biggest concerns, and it's going to get into on the 18 scary retirement risk, how this comes into play when you're looking at cost of living increases, for instance, on Social Security or pensions, where they're small to non-existent, and yet the price of the goods and services that we're spending money on, especially healthcare, is going up so high. So next is sequence of returns. This is so important. When you retire, if you start tapping into your into your retirement accounts, and the market goes through a bear market period, this could be extremely detrimental. It may cause you to run out of money in retirement. So these are some of the concerns we have. So what is one of them? Again, longevities. Well, here's right on number 1, 18 scary retirement statistics. People could routinely live past age 100, but they may not want to. Science is creating a future in which human beings could live past 100 years old in relative health, okay? And this is the key part there. The question is, many U.S. adults are willing to, are not so sure they want to do that. 56% of study respondents said that they would not want to live at least 120 years, for instance. 2/3 of adults said they would be against having a brain chip implant. Did you even know that you could do that, right? A brain chip implant that could help improve your cognitive abilities is in the future. And a similar number were against the idea of using synthetic blood to augment their physical abilities. So these are some of the medical advances that we're in for that are going to help some of the deteriorating diseases that we deal with today. Respondents sided with artificially extending life expectancy, such as here's some of the concerns. Social inequality, where only the rich would have access to these life-extending enhancements. 2/3 of respondents also worried the implication of using scientific enhancements before their full impact is understood. So again, ideal lifespan, according to almost 70% of the respondents, is between 79 and 100 years old. It's for each of us. Most of us say it's not that we're worried about getting older so much, in the sense that it's that we see if we decline in that getting older, where we're not able to stay active, or mentally we're not able to do the things, or keep up, or God forbid we have Alzheimer's or dementia, or our mental capacities are diminished. What can you do there? These are some of the things when it comes into planning, taking care of yourself as far as your health and that, and then financially it's making sure that you have the money to be able to have options when it comes to your healthcare decisions. Sometimes living healthily is not the cheapest thing to do, so making sure that you plan well to be able to do that and have those options available is very important. All right, women are more financially fragile than they used to be. Now this is kind of interesting. Women in their 50s are more financially fragile than they were just 10 years ago, according to research from the George Washington University Global Financial Literacy Excellence Center. This trend has led to women in their 50s delaying retirement because of higher levels of debt, including educational debt and higher rates of life planning disruption due to divorce and widowhood. There are many real and complicated factors contributing to 50-something women's sense of financial insecurity today. No matter the cause, however, it is time for us in the industry, all right, to help these folks. So it's right now the financial services industry is failing women in general and contributing to the financial insecurity of women in this age group in particular. So among the report's findings are that overall debt for women has doubled in their 50s since the early 1990s. So this is really disturbing when you see the debt is going up, right? In fact, at a rate that is doubling at the time when they're starting to get, retirement's not that far off, and this has just been in the last basically 20 years. While the percentage of 50-something women with less than $25,000 in savings has also doubled. So not only are debt going up, but of course savings are going down at the same time. So these women are, women in their 50s are finding largely are less and less prepared for retirement and are going to be facing some very difficult times and decisions. In addition, women in their 50s are more likely to have mortgage debt totaling more than half the value of their homes. All right, so there again, our goal would be either to, if not have our homes paid off, at least have the money invested that could pay off the house if we wanted to. So these findings are additionally substantiated by results from a recent survey of American workers by the Transamerica Center for Retirement Studies. So we got two studies in here that we're talking about. This study reveals that 46% of women are either not too confident or not at all confident in their ability to retire with a comfortable lifestyle, compared with 36% of men. So again, considerably more. You're talking about a third more women than men are concerned about retirement in terms of being able to maintain their standard of living and quality of life. Only 12% of women, okay, think about it, only 12% of women felt very confident. 88% then did not, as far as being able to fully retire with a comfortable lifestyle. This is one of those areas when it comes to planning, it's so important for, in general for everyone, whether you're single, whether you're married, whichever. Planning can help you get a look into your financial future and see if you keep doing the same things, is this, are you going to get the desired result, right? Because that's what when we keep doing the same things and we're not getting the desired result, we need to change. Okay, do you know right now what that future is going to be? And if you did, now's the time, right, when you can do something about it to make those changes. So again, here, in fact, let me throw it out there again. First 10 callers to my office, 615-376-5325. I will show you what that financial future looks like. I'll show you, if you keep doing what you're doing, what it's going to lead to, and I'll share with you strategies to improve that picture so that you can, in fact, attain and maintain your standard of living and quality of life no matter how long you live. Again, Debbie's standing by. She'll get your information. She'll send you out a checklist of things to bring to the appointment with me. So when you come in, I'll be able to give you the most help possible. Any questions I will answer, and I'll give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. All right, number 3, Social Security is not keeping pace. This is what we were talking about earlier, right, on those inflation risk. Social Security is not keeping pace with real costs of living increases. The rising cost of living is a major concern for most Americans, and news of Social Security, you ready for this? This is COLA for this year, for 2017, that is. 0.3% was the cost of living increase, which basically amounted to an average of something like $5 a month. Won't do much to calm your worries if you're worried about rising prices. But we can go ahead and get rid of it. Thank you. According to a recent study from Allianz Life, fears about the rising cost of living are having a real impact on Americans' retirement planning. Nearly half of Americans reported being either very concerned or terrified, okay, that the rising cost of living would affect their retirement plan. And this in particular, when you get into healthcare costs, this is one of those big concerns, and it's one of the big ones we're going to run into here. All right? The same thing goes, 53% said that they would feel either very worried or panicked about paying for expenses if their income was frozen and they never received an increase in annual salary. Now think about that. So an annual salary, that's one thing, right? You can get earnings, you can go out and you can work more. When you're retired and you're subject to Social Security or pension, most pensions don't even have cost of living increases. Whatever that amount is, it's frozen. This is what you get, and it doesn't change. So the price of the things you buy goes up and pension doesn't go up. That's going to create some future problems unless you've got enough savings, money in retirement accounts or just savings in general, and that those monies are earning enough to stay ahead of inflation and taxes to help you plug in those gaps that are going to occur the further out you live. Perhaps more concerning, most people don't have a real plan to deal with inflation. As the majority said, they would adjust by simply living more modestly. In other words, that's not the plan we want, right? We don't want to just have to keep cutting back on our lifestyle as we get older because we don't have the money to maintain our standard of living. We want, if anything, we want to have some fun, right? We worked all our lives. Let's get out there and enjoy our later years. So living more modestly is not really a plan that we want, right? We want to, in fact, be able to live, we enjoy our life and get out there and know that we're not going to have to worry about money, that we've got the plan in place, that part's taken care of. All right, the next is going to talk about, there's baby boomers versus Gen X, which is coming along now. And it's interesting that Gen Xers are having even more concerns than the baby boomers who are retiring now as they come into retirement. And we've got some others. So we're just up to number 5. We've got a lot more we're going to cover. All right, and with that, I'm going to share some more strategies with you on some things you can do to help improve your situation so that you, in fact, will be able to attain and maintain your standard of living and quality of life no matter how long you live, and attain all your financial goals and have some fun in retirement. So join me here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.